God works through people. And so being selfless is that surrendering to that higher power. I use God not in a Christian sense, meaning the creator spirit, okay? So life is all about being of service. There is nothing else but being of service. And if you can't be of service, then you're living an egotistical, controlling, kind of selfish life. And you end up feeling restless, irritable, and discontent with everything. Because nothing seems to feel right. But if you just open up and say yes to everything, it's all good, there's no bad experience, hey, then you're allowing this higher power to work through you. And I don't make decisions as to who comes and who doesn't. It just happens. And I think life is a pretty miraculous thing when you're not in charge. When I'm not in charge of my life, it's amazing. So selflessness for me means without ego. That's what it means, without an ego. It's for all of it's for fun and for free. We don't expect anything. We don't have judgments or criticism. It's all good. When I am not thinking about this or that, or wishing that or this would be happening, then everything is great. God's got a plan, and I just have to accept the plan. So an animal dies. I had a Chihuahua that I just loved to pieces, and he just went running into the forest, and he never came back. We found the body, eviscerated, and I go, okay, this is what's supposed to happen. Popped him in the freezer. So Tutu's in the freezer waiting for a fruit tree, and I'll plant a fruit tree one of these days and put her in the fruit tree. But just, I don't know, just acceptance, and things are so much easier. It wasn't, and then I get this other new rescue dog who's as neurotic as they come, and I just love it to death because she came into my life. What's not to love, you know? I can't have an opinion about this dog. I accept her for exactly what she is. Totally neurotic. And I'm her servant, and I serve her. That's what it is. So that's another way of serving, is to serve the animals in my house. Give them the best kind of food. Everybody that comes, give them the best. So I'm now stirring it for 5 minutes because I've just inoculated the milk, and we brought it down to temperature. We heated it up, and then we brought it to the temperature at 72 degrees. And this has Flora danica, which is an inoculant to acidify the milk. And then I put Neige candidum and Geotritium, which are 2 types of mold. The Geo is a pink mold, and the Neige is a white mold. And now I'm stirring it for 5 minutes, and then it will sit in this pot for an hour and a half before I put in the rennet. And I use a vegetarian rennet. And then after the rennet is put in, you let it sit undisturbed overnight till tomorrow morning, and it becomes, the curds separate from the whey, and that's when we then do the draining process. This is day 1 of cheese making.
What is your biggest complaint about the average or typical American lifestyle?
The observation is that the typical American diet, the SAD, Standard American Diet, is killing everyone. Government-sanctioned food is sterile, has no nutrients. They take out all the nutrients and they add and fortify. And most of it can't be digested. And so we have a lot of sick people. And I see, especially in this small town, a lot of sick people. And nobody seems to think that that's wrong. They just all accept it. Oh, I have to get my gallbladder out. Yeah, I had mine taken out too. Yeah, I can't walk. Oh, I have to take this. I take a antidepressant, but that means I can't sleep, so I have to take a sleeping pill. But that gives me anxiety, so I take an anxiety pill. But that makes me something else. And she takes another pill. And she sits there and she can't sit still. She's just moving, moving, moving. Well, the poor person has something like 7 different pills that she's taking, and all for the side effects of one pill to the next. Okay? Well, if she just changed her diet, instead of eating crap, which is things from the market and non-organic and packaged and sodas and sugary, she wouldn't need those pills. The pills are not fixing the problem. They're just hiding it. And they're just treating the symptoms. So what doctors want is to know, what do you have? You're depressed. Here, take this. If they know what, they've got a pill for it. They never ask, why do you have it? You ask that question, why? And it brings out a can of worms, because I eat white bread. I love my pasta. I love chocolate cake. Well, I have to have, this donut in the morning and coffee.
You've created a society that lives in denial.
Yeah. And are all addicted to sugar. And these processed food, the bagged foods, the chips and whatever, I don't even know what they are because I don't buy them, but they're engineered to addict people because it's all about the money. So when you have a country that, 1, has a war against bacteria, so that 2, the food becomes completely sterile, 3, they have this rant about how bad germs and bacteria are, and you all have to wash your hands every time you touch anything, well, you're going to be a sick nation. And we are. We're obese and sick nation. And, I had a husband that was a blacksmith, and his hands would be black, not just from working in the shop, but from brushing the horses and picking hoofs and feeding the animals. And I'd say, oh, go wash your hands. He'd say, why? And he'd lick it. And that man never got sick. He didn't, we don't wash hands. There is nothing to wash to be afraid of. The more germs we get into us, the more balanced we would be. Because you kill a germ, you're going to kill the good ones, which are take an antibiotic, which is anti-life. You'll kill the good ones, and the bad ones somehow are stronger than the good ones. And so they multiply. And you have worse problems. So I never take an antibiotic. And I eat goat poop when I do feel like I can't digest something. That's my probiotics. It's free out in the yard. Swallow it like a pill. Long as it's organic. The foundation of life is food. So when you have a broken food system, you've got broken people. A broken soil system, you've got broken food system and a broken people. Our soil is a mess. I mean, we have artificial fertilizer, ammonium phosphate that they put on. That was some sort of chemical they had for chemical warfare in World War II. And they found out they could put it in soil and plants will grow. There's no minerals left in our food system because there's no minerals in our dirt. In 1930s, somebody's father, a friend of mine's father, was a soil geologist, And he already said there was no minerals, very few minerals, not like that rich loamy soil that we had when the buffaloes roamed. It was pretty dead. The Dust Bowl came, blew everything off, and we just, so we need to put the shit back into the dirt, into the soil, and eat that. And that's why we have a compost heap. And we collect, we have cows and horses and goats and chickens, and we put that in the compost, along with the weeds, and that creates a rich, foamy, you saw it, that beautiful compost that came out of there after 5-6 months. And so that kind of soil produces a healthy kind of food. And if we can eat that, that's great. Eat it raw is even better.